Moving on, I can say, there's huge spotlight, okay, on Ghana, because the Trump administration, Edin Simbia Babetuja say, countries are receiving deportees, no. Ghana is part. Eswatini is part. Other countries is part. Baby say Burkina Faso ne Nigeria, they've declined to take deportees. Okay, no problem. But then these countries are mere parts, no. According to the US, no, they have been giving them money. Remember, say our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Okudu Blackwa said the deal that we had with the US, no, we are not going to take any money from the US. Just a deal. She and him. But then just 2 days ago, Minister our Eswatini, our foreign minister, just said US become almost $5.1 million based on the deportees that receiving from the United States of America. Based on the deportees that receiving from the United States of America. So the big question is, okay, now, no, does it mean that all these countries are receiving deportees, no, they are being paid? If they are being paid, which country and which country are being paid? Because Ghana, the foreign minister, no, could you tell Black Party say he and the country itself has not received any payment? And don't think that. Now, me no can say no. Parliament and you could you tell Black waba out and in Simbia Babetuja so what it is. So Eswatini for aka so almost no more deportees are yitu omokano. Any Ghana so. Ye try indirectly to take deportees from the United States of America. Quickly, Okuduta Blackwa went to Parliament to explain, say, deportees na ye ka say, omoba Ghana, ebia abayin edisikano entisa. So he had his own explanation to actually give. Ye baba kai ko she Eswatini almost report if he were airby say US are buying and start more muska based on the deportees are receiving from the United States of America. In should video ye baba for ye beto aso.
So far, Mr. Speaker, 388 Ghanaians have been in detention since January this year on immigration-related charges. Of this number, 120 are awaiting final decisions by the Board of Immigration Appeals. 49 have exhausted all legal processes and await final deportation arrangements. As of today, per the ministry's records, 169 Ghanaians have been deported to Ghana since January 2025. Of this number, 90 arrived in Ghana unaccompanied on commercial flights and 66 on chartered controlled flights supervised by ICE agents. We have made clear that deportees have rights and that they should be deported within the confines of international law. They should not be abused. Their rights should be respected. So far, our engagement with these deportees, there has not been any evidence of violation of their rights when we have engaged them.
This understanding with the United States of America, what is in it for Ghana, for our national interest and in the promotion of the public interest of Ghana?
The government of Ghana has not requested any monetary support, logistical support, any material support for this intervention. The understanding is purely on humanitarian grounds. We are Pan-Africanists. These are fellow West Africans who are in distress, being detained, being treated shabbily, without dignity, and we cannot look on as Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana.
So since a year, Okujuta Blackwa or the Tuja. Now, as I was telling, if you look at or if you listen to the last statement that he made mention said Ghana is not actually taking any money from the United States in terms of funds and aid. But then this particular bombshell reporter, if he a year, the Guardian Wabano, Oshe the screens or say Eswatini confirms receiving over 5 million from US to accept deportees. So first of all, Eswatini, just I know so yeah, country here no in Africa no. Or patches say Eswatini is able to just a year Trump deal money in United States of America have they are not going to take any money That was the same thing they told their country members. All of a sudden, no, omusu share. Adi sene ska womu. Ya start say yeji huska. So the big question is, if ska womu ni bit me ska, why wouldn't we take the money? If America can give us money for taking deportees, why wouldn't we take the money? And after the year, they know as a tuwache juma, there be. So we don't know if currently the minister say but then if we have to take money because other countries are taking money, I think we should take money. Now, share the whole screens no so a bit bigger. Also, Trump administration struck largely secretive deals with at least 5 African countries to accept immigrants. So now, no, according to the Guardian, UK, no party say, this particular African country say have a secret deal with the United States of America to receive deportees. Eswatini has confirmed for the first time that it had received more than $5 million from the United States to accept dozens of people expelled under Washington's aggressive mass deportation drive. So Eswatini are not more said they are not taking any money. Okay, based on this deportation, yeah, they are there question. For the first time, they've come out to say, it further goes on to say, the tiny Southern African kingdom has taken in over 15 men since Donald Trump's administration struck largely secretive deals with at least 5 African countries to accept migrants under a third country deportation program fiercely criticized by rights groups. Into normal party say, tiny African kingdom Eswatini, you see, confirming say, or start huska. Now, a document revealed by the Human Rights Watch in September and seen by the AFP, Associated Press, said Eswatini agreed to take 160 deportees in exchange for $5.1 million to build its border and migration management capacity. Into Eswatini, Ginti or Mofaso Ediagis Canon, an argument on Mumeki and say, US for my migrants near Belgium. Ye Belgium 160. The 160 deportees are ye we chromono. I was America for my scanny timi edi ye border near my name yesterday and crow for no moon to US and Kokaho. Again, question in Parliament about the arrangement, the Finance Minister Neil Rijkenberg confirmed the government had received $5.1 million. We were told it was for the US deportees after we inquired, he said, adding the ministry had been kept in the dark throughout the process. The first group of 5 men arrived in July aboard a chartered US military plane, with a second batch received in early October. Washington's branded some of them depraved monsters convicted of crimes including child rape and murder. It's according to Eswatini minister no call parliament bisa say US deportees deal and again on chemu on person US deportees deal no there beginning no na a secret but no omu say sika bi wo ma aban media so man say no media build omu border as Eswatini. Okay. And far from that, so America this kind of more America catch so scan air for one more deport more so they were bomb they establish more crew. And a year parliamentary pass in some government came pa the new because you say mom we rape so for any day on my by crew we so much sama isika. Yet so they are being held without charge as at Eswatini's maximum security Mustafa Correctional Center, notorious for detaining political prisoners according to their lawyers. One of them, a 62-year-old Jamaican who had reportedly completed a murder sentence in the US, was sent back to Jamaica in September. In Japan, said Eswatini for omudu ope ana sanko for deportees omo bape enye so omo ba ya na sebio yaji omo afeso omo ba na ide omo koto prison first na omo so investigation omo so okay one more ide omo ba no are they good enough to fit into our society, and some of them are criminals are almost serve jail sentence, so they come back and in deportation no be Eswatini they continue their jail sentence. Lawyers and civil society groups in Eswatini have gone to court to challenge the legality of the detentions. Rijkenberg told Parliament that the money received from the US was funneled into the account of Eswatini's disaster agency, NDMA. However, NDMA is not allowed to use money it has not been appropriated, he said, vying to regularize the process. It is not immediately clear whom from Eswatini signed the deal with the United States, formerly known as Swaziland. The country is the last absolute monarchy in Africa. It has been led by King Imwasti III since 1986, and his government have been accused of human rights violations. So that is in Sema, I say, so as see one of them, and in Sema, so no, what we are learning, no, patch say, Eswatini, more patches say, yes, they've taken over migrants out of over, if anything, 25 or 30 so far, almost about 100. Almost about 100 more and a beba. But do no more have it with US no. US for more $5.1 million. Whereas Ghana, dear, so far no, your minister for parliament say in this KBA and in this castle. Eswatini and now formerly in Swaziland. Swaziland, the Africa now you see no almost see a form Eswatini. Meaning say rebranding no say then a year from 1986 or hene and it so they are operating more like a monarchy, a kingdom, or more no your price on hene or tisun or yet your pay what you are saying or yet your pay to say at the end of the day no human rights violations near the but then America force or Montefu. Once they struck a deal with Eswatini, they struck a deal with Eswatini. So that is exactly what is really going on. I just say once again we are live, so you can bring in your comments now. You exactly what you are thinking about is your views on this particular issue, what you think about all of these particular things are also in regards with this particular whole thing. So you better to also near quote in for because definitely no there are a lot of things I was say account sem has say near Kyle say you can also bring in your comments now at the end of the day your opinions, okay, based on all of these particular things are also based on these particular things are also right here in our country, Ghana. All right, so that is the issue on board. Now, you better also near call a year in some